are just jumping to these ludicrous...
Live 5 News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bill Sharp. Right now, we are awaiting a news conference inside North Charleston City Council chambers. Let's listen in live right now.
Questions from the audience itself. So we ask that you have your questions. Be patient. We'll go through, and we've got about 10 minutes worth of time for questions for both Mayor Summey as well as Chief Eddie Driggers. And there'll be numerous people that'll be joining them here in the room as well. So without any further ado, I'll introduce Mayor Summey and Chief Driggers.
Good afternoon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for this press conference. I will tell you that the chief and I, along with my wife, visited the family this morning. A wonderful, down-to-earth family, a wonderful group of people, and we let them know how we felt about their loss and how bad it was. And we do not condone wrong. It doesn't matter who it is. And we're there to support them as we can for the future. I will also let you know that the officer that was terminated, his wife is 8 months pregnant, and while he's been terminated, the city is going to continue to cover the insurance on her for the baby until after the baby is born. We think that is the humane thing for us to do, and we're going to do that. I also will tell you that thanks to Senator Marlon Kempson and also one of the members of the state legislature, we received a grant to purchase 101 body cameras. Those body cameras are on order. Today, I made an executive decision and have notified my council. We have already ordered this morning an additional 150 body cameras so that every officer that's on the street in uniform will have a body camera. Now, I want you to know that it takes a while. Once the cameras come in, we have to train them on operation of the camera, but we also have to establish a policy. We have already been drafting a policy through the police department for our legal department to look at and make sure it meets muster. This has been a horrible tragedy within our community. There have been 2 families that have been harmed great by what occurred, both the victims and the officer's family. And our hearts go out to both of them. I was taken back by the warm and kind reception that we received today from the family. They are an outstanding family within our community. And the mother and father are wonderful people, and the other family was there. They're suffering. However you choose to offer up prayers, please pray for this family and the time that they're going through. We will be there to support them for the funeral with a police escort to make sure that we get them moved properly and give them the utmost respect and the respect that the gentleman that is deceased deserves. We're going to allow you to ask questions after the chief speaks for about 10 minutes. I want to let the national media know we respect you. We are not going to do any national interviews until after the burial. I'm not going to make this a political forum for me and the city. What we're trying to do is make sure the family has an adequate time to put their son to rest. And after that, we will start talking. We will be working within the community to have open dialogue on policies that we have, looking for ways to develop a closer working relationship with the individual communities. Our chief has been doing that for the last 2 years. You've got to remember, we are the only city in the state that has a police officer in every school. And it's not just to create security in the schools, it's to create relationships between those officers and the young people within our community. And we will continue to look at ways to enhance the quality of service that we provide to our citizens. And by that, I mean all of our citizens. So we'll be having some good open dialogue within the next 30 days. And those of you that are interested in taking part in that dialogue, if you would contact our office and let us know, and we'll be glad to consider you for that role. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Driggers and let him have some remarks.
So my heart goes out to the family today. Had a good visit with them. I got to meet a daddy who is in mourning, a mama who is in mourning, and we talked father to father. It was a good visit with them, and I would ask you to, however you give respect to individuals, give them the respect that they deserve during this time, and just know that we are doing our best here, not only as a city but as a police department, not only to serve during this time, but to protect you, all of you, and to serve this community as best we can, even though we've got a whole bunch going on. We're going to continue to strive to do what's right. We're going to strive to do what's right. I would just ask you to keep, I have been praying for peace. Peace for the family and peace for this community. And I will continue to stand on that as I strive to protect and serve the people I took an oath to do so. So that's.
Any questions?
Chief, no justice! Chief, no justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Chief,
May I make one statement? We only have 10 minutes. That we're going to allow these people to ask their questions. We understand how you feel and what you're saying. We don't have any issues with that. But if we can have an opportunity to answer their questions, because Mr. Pryor said he's going to cut it off.
Let's go 1, 2.
He'll call on you.
We'll go 1, 2 right here for right now.
Chief, there were other officers in that video. Did any of them ever come that's telling the truth?
Nobody was witness to anything, Slager.
Chief, two of your sergeants have said it was performed by an Officer Habersham. Officer Habersham just says he did pressure, did not perform CPR. Was CPR ever performed in this part?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you.
do that.
I am. And give me just a second. Honesty comes from my heart. I have watched the video. and I have not watched it since. But in that end, because I've been receiving a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails, in the end of it, what I saw was I believe to be a police officer removing the shirt of the individual and performing some type of life-saving. But I'm not sure what took place there.
But you don't know if CPR was performed?
Oh, I do not know. I was told that life-saving, that they tried to save his life when we got to it.
And if I can further elaborate, should CPR be performed right away in a situation like that after you know that everybody's safe? And who was that first officer on the scene, the African-American officer? Which is that Habersham?
Yes.
Chief. So should that have been performed?
In the video, we see them dropping something. We see the officer dropping something near the body, but it's not clear what that is. A lot of people have suggested that what the officer was dropping was a taser. Do you have any information on that?
We have turned, we're under no obligation to turn an investigation over. We could have investigated this ourselves, but we chose to turn it over to SLED because that's the right thing to do. To have an independent agency do the investigation. There are questions that I have in my mind that I can't answer right now. And those questions are going to have to be answered by Scarlett Wilson, the solicitor, and by SLED. And I can't answer those questions. And so I would just refer those specific questions to the people who have investigated this to the fullest extent.
Next question, right next question, right this young lady.
Do you have police procedures in place?
Right here.
Do you have police procedures in place? What are your procedures? And were they followed?
Obviously not.
Do you have procedures in place for dealing with a wounded suspect or victim, or are there procedures in place?
Is it normal procedure to handcuff him after he's shot?
Let me get, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me answer the questions for you that we can answer. First of all, we don't have all the information. Both.
The chief of police or the mayor? Which one?
I'm asking you to respect me as I'm going to respect you. Okay. And I'm talking to the media. Okay? I've got, the people can hear. We're about to close this press conference. We're about to close the press conference. I am, Scholar, you had a question?
Why do you think the city did not turn into a Ferguson, given that you have the shooting of an unarmed black man by a white police officer? What do you think prevented the cauldron from boiling over in that immediate 24-hour period after the shooting into Sunday?
I think it's because we did what was right. We turned the investigation over to an independent agency that does not work for the mayor and does not work for the chief. We also then tried to get all the information that we could and turn over to them. And that's why some of the questions that are being asked today, we don't have that evidence. That evidence was presented to SLED. We gave them everything that we have. They're the ones that really need to answer any questions about investigation. And
right here.
Hold on, I'm still answering, Scholar. Yes, sir.
When did you start to believe that there was something wrong in the officer's story and there might have been a videotape explaining or showing that it didn't match?
I saw the videotape yesterday for the first time.
Did you believe your officer until you saw the videotape?
I had no reason to rely on anything but the evidence that we have, and I was not engaged in the investigation, so I did not have the evidence.
You're the mayor. Where's the chief of police? You're the mayor. We want to talk to the chief of police.
Go to the question, this young lady right here.
Young lady, yes, ma'am.
Chief, Officer Slater was exonerated in 2009
He went through a process that goes through the department, and that's part of the personnel file. We'll be glad to release it to you.
Is that the only taser?
Yeah, with the exception of the
Yes, sir.
2014 not firing.
The taser does not have a camera.
Second question, a lot of this community, about half of this community is African American, yet
Correct.
80% of the police department, as I understand it, is white. Is it time for that to change?
Let me say that we recruit African American members to the police department. Anyone that can become certified as a police officer, we're more than willing to hire. The problem is we have a very limited number, even to the point that we've started going out and recruiting from other departments, where we can get certified minority police officers to work for us.
This gentleman with the hand.
Was there ever a fight over the taser? I mean, was there any truth to what the officer originally said?
I think that if you get all of...
Let's hear the answer. Thank you.
The answer to your question, sir, is that if you are made privy to all of the video, I have not seen all of the video, so therefore I can't answer the questions.
Andrew,
Has Officer Slager provided his official narrative earlier?
There's the car video. SLED has that. And what I understand, the video that I saw was not all of the video that exists. We only were able to look at what was given to us. I haven't seen it. No.
right here.
Yes, sir.
Go.
We want triggers.
Go.
We want triggers. We want triggers. We want triggers. We want triggers. We want triggers.
Go.
Yes, sir. We need a little bit louder.
What is the make and model of the handgun?
I have. Well,
We can leave that get that information to you. I am not that familiar with guns.
Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, Chief, with all due respect, would you please explain to the people why it is that you won't allow Chief Triggers to answer? I can speak for myself. I can speak for myself. I can speak for myself. Please, respect. Why the people would like to know why it is that you won't allow the police chief to answer police-related matters, even though we know that you are the man in charge. We understand that, but the people are asking for the chief to answer these questions.
Because the chief is not allowed to answer any questions about the investigation because there's another agency doing the investigation. They are not giving us permission to release that information. We don't have it.
Be the contact person where we can verify that.
What is the Tom Berry with SLED?
this gentleman right here.
Yes, sir.
We talked to SLED, the last time we talked to them, they said that Officer Slager had not provided his official narrative to the investigation to you guys handing up the SLED. Has Officer Slager provided his official account of what happened?
That is, again, SLED is who he gives that to. We do not get that.
SLED is saying he doesn't have it. So as far as you know, he has not given his official narrative of what happened.
That, again, that's something that SLED would have to answer.
Chief, is there anything you can head nod to say that yes, he is still involved in the investigation, or is he fired and gone?
He is terminated. He is terminated. He is no longer here.
Is he not even involved in the investigation at this point? He's after
I think what we're trying to tell you, we're not doing the investigation.
I understand that.
SLED is, so therefore they're the agency that has to give you any information from the investigation.
It's the last gentleman.
Handcuff somebody after they are shot.
That is standard policy across the country.
This is the last gentleman right there.
Yes, the last question right here.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
Given what's happened, are you now taking a look at this officer's other arrests and other cases?
We are. That is something that we'll have to move to in the future. We're still waiting on all the information to come back to us from SLED. That's right. That's right.
It's something you're considering. You are considering looking at the other cases.
They will do that.
officer made, other arrests he's made, other incidents he's had with other residents?
We will look at that. Any questions anybody has, we're more than willing to look at.
Thank them and
Will there be any more disciplinary actions as far as other officers?
The other officer?
That has to come with the investigation. And so I can't tell you until we know exactly if there were any other officers engaged or involved before I can tell you that there would be any type of punishment that would go out.
What was their role, Mayor, at the scene? What was their role, the other officers? Somebody can tell
The only role that I know from what I saw from the video was the first officer that responded, and he came up to the gentleman laying on the ground and was checking him out. I did see one of the officers at one time check. My understanding that there's more video than I saw, and that the other officers, not every officer is CPR certified. With that, it's over. Thank you.
Okay.
You've been listening live to a news conference in North Charleston City Hall, a boisterous news conference with Mayor Keith Summey and Police Chief Eddie Driggers. There was a group in the back that continued to disrupt that news conference, but the mayor did, along with the police chief, answer about 10 minutes of questions. Let's listen to the chanting going on right now. Once again, you're looking live at the aftermath of that news conference in North Charleston City Hall. I believe you heard those protesters shouting, "The mayor's gotta go," referring to North Charleston Mayor Keith Summey. The mayor said in his news conference that the officer involved, the officer who shot the man in North Charleston, has been fired, but the insurance will be kept on the officer's wife, who's 8 months pregnant, because the mayor said that is the humane thing to do. Again, you're looking at this boisterous aftermath of the news conference inside North Charleston City Hall, a group protesting and chanting at one point saying, "The mayor's gotta go." Now, the mayor said he and Police Chief Driggers, along with Rob Dewey, a police chaplain, visited the family this morning of the man who was shot to death, and the mayor said he was struck by how kind and welcoming and friendly the family was at their West Ashley home. Our police reporter, Harv Jacobs, is at that news conference right now. We're going to be talking to Harv in just a minute. Harv, can you hear me? All right, we're trying to get Harv in just a minute. What an extraordinary news conference. The mayor had to stop several times along with the police chief because that group in the back was disrupting the news conference, chanting various things. The last thing you heard them chant was, "The mayor's gotta go." They also wanted to talk to the police chief more than the mayor. So here's what we know. The police officer, Slager, Michael Slager, has been fired, but the insurance policy is being kept on his 8-month pregnant wife because the mayor says that is the humane thing to do. Here is the officer right now being kept in isolation at the Al Cannon Detention Center in Charleston County, and that is for his own protection. We know the mayor, the police chief, Eddie Driggers, and Chaplain Rob Dewey were among the city officials who visited the family of the slain man this morning at their West Ashley home. As I told you, the mayor said he was struck by how welcoming and friendly the family was to Police Chief Driggers, to the mayor himself, and there's Chaplain Rob Dewey. Now, the mayor also says for the funeral, there will be a full police escort for the family as they continue to mourn this tragic shooting in North Charleston. The mayor says he wants to show them all the dignity and respect the city of North Charleston can show in the wake of that shooting. What kind of gun was used in the shooting, the mayor didn't know, but he said he would get that kind of information out. What was dropped by the victim, by the police officer? Some said it was a taser. We just don't know. The mayor said that would be investigated too. So let's go. I believe Harv Jacobs now can hear me. He's live at North Charleston City Hall. Harv, what an extraordinary news conference, especially with those protesters where you are.
Bill, this was a crazy press conference. In fact, Mayor Samuel almost ended the press conference because this one heckler was standing on the right of me, basically wouldn't shut up. He kept demanding justice, no justice, no peace. And then they were all chanting, Sammy must go, the mayor must go, the chief must go. And it's actually amazing that this press conference was able to go on. The mayor was very straightforward. You know, he was asked the questions we wanted to ask him about the, was that a taser that was dropped by Walter Scott's body? He said he didn't know because SLED's looking into that. He was also asked about the CPR. He said to him it appeared in the video that one of the officers was taking Mr. Scott's shirt off to try to give him CPR. He did say not all officers are certified as CPR, and that drew a loud reaction from the crowd also. And he was also asked, of course, if officers handcuff suspects even after they are shot. In this case, Walter Scott was probably dead already, and the mayor said that is standard procedure. And he also mentioned that there might be some more video out there, which really caught my ear and eye. And I don't know if he's referring to the dash cam video. He did say that SLED has all the videos and that are needed for this investigation. And, of course, he appealed to the community to please stay calm. And what also caught my ear and eye, Bill, was when he said that Mr. Scott will have a full police escort for his funeral. He didn't say when or where that funeral will be. My guess is it's very possible it'll be in a very large place, maybe even the Coliseum, because you know there's going to be a lot of people in the community, probably law enforcement also will go to the funeral. And also general folks, these folks who are out here protesting today. So considering the chaos here this afternoon, I personally think the mayor and the chief handled it very well, and now we're just going to have to wait to see what happens, Bill.
Police reporter Harv Jacobs live on the scene of that boisterous, crazy news conference which just ended about 6 minutes ago at North Charleston City Hall. Harv, thanks so much. The coroner's report, we just got that. The victim, Walter Scott, who was 50 years old, died of multiple gunshot wounds. I don't think that's any surprise to any of us who've seen the video, and by now I'm sure most of you have seen that disgusting, horrifying video of the man being shot in the back by the North Charleston police officer. Once again, the coroner's report just in showing that Walter Scott died of multiple gunshot wounds. It's been a crazy afternoon. That news conference was just wild, especially with the protesters in the back. We will wrap all this up for you. We will have team coverage of not only that news conference, but also other aspects of the shooting and the latest on the police officer himself, who remains at the Alcana Detention Center, but he has been isolated from the other inmates for his own protection. Team coverage on this, folks, coming up right here on Live 5 News, first at 4. I'm Bill Sharp, Live 5 News. I'll see you again at 4 o'clock.
Owen, this is my real true story. My accident happened right here on Augusta Road, and wham, I was hurt. George Sink got me $75,000.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck anywhere in the low country, call me on your cell phone. It's 1-800-849-SINK.
Want to live a Tanger-inspired life?